Hello, and welcome to the Invisible Innocence podcast. I am your host, Megan Moret. I hope to bring awareness to human trafficking. This has become a horrible epidemic, and I say epidemic because it is growing at an alarming rate every day, every month, and every year. We all have so many questions surrounding human trafficking, like what exactly is it? Who does it affect? How to recognize it? How to protect our children and loved ones from this, and what to do if we suspect that someone we know is being affected by this. But before we go any further, I would like all of our listeners to know that there will be sensitive material, so discretion is advised. When we hear the words human trafficking, we can so easily go down a dark, mysterious, unfathomable path. And personally, when I used to think about human trafficking, I would think about dirty, sweaty men in old cargo pants, maybe with a bandana around their neck or their head, old cars, creepy, decrepit buildings, filth everywhere, and maybe no sunlight at all. Maybe an old woman bent over working in the fields in the hot sun with no food or water or shade. And I'm not sure how I got these visuals when I thought about human trafficking, but this is exactly what I thought about until I was introduced to the horrible reality of human trafficking. When I asked some of my friends and colleagues what they thought about when they thought about human trafficking, and many of them said kidnapping, corruption, young girls, prostitutes, cover-ups, and migrant workers, just to name a few. And we are so wrong, totally wrong. Traffickers and their victims do sometimes exist in conditions like this, but they may also live in a high-rise, a mansion, a beautiful condo. They may wear Versace, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. They may drive a Lamborghini or a Porsche or live in the best zip codes. Although both gruesome, labor and sex trafficking is the one that we most hear about, talk about the most, and see in different movies. For instance, the movie Taken with Liam Neeson, or the more recent movie Sound of Freedom, the true life story about Tim Ballard. And while these movies do display truths and display what trafficking looks like in many parts of the world, it does not look like this everywhere. We have this conceptualized idea about what it may look like. Is it large men with ski masks on and AK-47s coming in the middle of the night in the dark? Or that creepy setting in an impoverished third world country where there is some sort of underground system that moves children around in the night with chains and shackles, and maybe they sleep on a dark, wet, dirty floor. So I would like to clear up a few misconceptions, and this is so important. Sex trafficking occurs when someone uses force, fraud, or coercion. A commercial sex act with an adult or causes a minor to commit a commercial sex act. This is what the term is. This is what the definition of trafficking is. The U.S. law states that a person under the age of 18 engaged in commercial sex acts are victims of human trafficking. So no matter what, if you are under 18 and you are engaging in any commercial sex act, it is human trafficking. Some commercial sex acts may include prostitution, transporting people, pornography, sex tourism, mail order brides, stripping, and even sex acts that take place in a massage parlor. So basically, it is any act at all that has a sexual nature that is used for profit while exploiting another person. Let me say that again. It is any act at all that has a sexual nature used for profit while exploiting another person. The last mind-blowing thing that I want to mention before we watch a survivor's story is the fact that this heinous industry is a huge and profitable industry, estimating around $150 billion annually. And this is the profit alone from it. So that's not million, that's billion. It's sickening. It is so disturbing. And when it is competing with the drug industry, illegal drug industry, which we all know how huge that is right now, we can honestly say that it has become an epidemic, and we need to talk about it. There are so many questions that we ask ourselves when it comes to trafficking, like who can fall prey and why? How do the traffickers find their victims and then get them to comply? Do they kidnap them? Do they chain them? Do they threaten them, beat them? Or do they simply seduce them, earn their trust, maybe by wanting them to be just a friend or a romantic partner, maybe buy them expensive gifts, feed their drug habits? All of these can apply. There are several different risk factors that can make people more vulnerable. And there are 3 ways in which traffickers get their victims to fall prey. Again, by force, fraud, or coercion. This is how a trafficker plays his game, his sick and twisted game. And the story that we are going to listen to is going to give us a better idea of exactly how this can happen and how this young girl ended up here and why.
When I was 15, I had my father. He was on drugs real bad. He was a crackhead, and also he was an alcoholic. He abused me from when I was 12 until I was 15. He raped me. I believe it was more than once, because when I was 12 and I used to visit him on the weekends up until I was 15, he used to beat me if I wouldn't smoke crack with him or drink with him. And he told me that he just didn't want to get high on his own, but I think it's more so he was always molesting me. I was staying with my friend Juanita, and she told me that she knows this guy that can help me to be a model, and was asking me was I okay with that, and I said yeah. I really wanted to pursue modeling. I can't remember how old I was, but I started wanting to be a model when I was a kid. I used to dream about it, like not only like in my dreams, but wake up dreaming like, yes, I want to be a model. This is what I want to do.
We will call this young lady Faye to protect her identity. And we heard how Faye was raised in a broken home, separated parents. I'm not sure if her parents were ever married, but we definitely know that they are not together. And her father was a drug addict and an alcoholic that physically and sexually abused her. He raped his own child. How and why someone can do that is beyond my comprehension. Then he forces her to drink and do drugs with him because he is the loser that doesn't want to do it alone. So he's going to use his innocent daughter and abuse her in ways and make her endure his sadistic perversions. These are the kind of monsters that we want to protect our children from in any way, shape, or form. So when Faye had the opportunity to leave, she goes to her friend's house to stay. It could not get any worse than living with her father. So she went to her friend's house, and this is when she shares her big dreams of becoming a model with her good friend that she trusts. And much like most of us young girls, we would dream about becoming a dancer or a ballerina, an artist, a gymnast, a teacher, an astronaut. There are just too many to think about. And this is what little boys and girls do. They dream. They dream about who they're going to be when they grow up. But this particular dream for Faye, it was special. She went to bed thinking about it, and she woke up thinking about it. And I think it's safe to say that she would have done anything to achieve this dream.
was 17 at the time when I met him. And I got in the adult entertainment business because of the fact that he asked me about it and he told me the money would be used towards the modeling, and I believed him. When he told me about the adult entertainment business, I didn't understand that it was an upscale call girl. I wasn't even aware of the fact that it was prostitution. They use us young people because they can get older women to do what they want to do because they believe we're young and we're naive, and we're 9 small 10 they're right, and that's why they go for the younger people to target, because they know they're going to get someone their age to do what they're asking them to do, and they know that they can feed off of that. Everything I did as far as prostitution goes, he got all the money. I didn't keep nothing from him. And that's the crazy part of it all, because I really believed it was for the modeling. I really thought this was a real legit thing. And somehow I found myself into this dirty game that I really believed it was a real job of modeling, and it wasn't.
Juanita, the trusted friend, now introduces Faye to him, the man that promised that all of her dreams would come true. He would now become her knight in shining armor, her Prince Charming, her boo, and he told her everything that she wanted to hear. And they were all lies, lies and more lies. At 17 years young, she found herself in the life, as they call it, the dirty game. She had no idea that she had now become a prostitute. Like she said, she didn't even know what a prostitute was. An upscale call girl, adult entertainer, escort, all the fancy and promising names he used to disguise the hell that she would soon endure. She was now trapped. He took every single penny that she made or earned, just depending on which way you want to look at it, and kept it, and did not put one penny towards her modeling career. He selfishly kept her money and kept her. And Faye is young, she's naive, she's unexperienced, and already has a background of sexual abuse and family dysfunction, and this makes her 10 times more vulnerable. Maybe someone older would have been too smart to believe his lies, or had a chance to get that deep down horrible feeling in their stomach and maybe took that chance and tried to get away.
He beat me. He had me in hotel rooms by myself for weeks, go hungry because I wouldn't obey what he wanted me to do. It's a trap. Once you're there, it's hard to get out of. It's really hard. I really thought that if I didn't leave, he probably was going to kill me because I didn't want no longer to be a prostitute. So I had to ask myself, is this something I still want to do, or do I want out? And if so, I had a chance leaving and risking him coming after me and killing me, because either which way, he might end up killing me regardless. I have learned I was a victim. At the time, I didn't believe I was, because I was like, hey, I volunteered. But then the day I didn't volunteer is something I was tricked into, thinking I can turn out to be a model. So I have learned, like, I really didn't sign up for this. And I'm glad I got away, because I was able to repair myself in my mom's relationship, and I was able to accomplish my goals. Finally, when I left him, I went back to school. I'm now a certified nursing assistant. I'm also a PCT, which is a patient care technician. Everything I've been through and gone through is what changed my whole attitude. I want to be a certified nursing assistant. I want to be a registered nurse. I want to help people genuinely to where I want to give back. So definitely, that's why I said if I can help one person, I'm grateful for that.
In this last clip, we hear how things really went for Faye and how manipulative and vicious he became. Traffickers are the masters of manipulation. They can make you think that you are crazy. They will play with your mind so much that you can even start to think that you possibly want this life. You are asking for this life, and that you cannot survive without this life. So the beatings continue, being locked up in a hotel room for weeks at a time with no food, no phone, no personal belongings at all. This soon becomes the normal for people like Faye. No hope, so they just go into survival mode. They ask themselves in moments of clarity or sanity, is this wrong? Should I escape? But will he kill me if I leave? Will he kill me if I stay? Will he kill my family? Will anyone want me or love me after this? Am I even lovable? I'm so dirty, and who will believe me? Will law enforcement bring me back to my trafficker? The feelings of despair and desperation are too much to even think about. Faye finally figured him out, though. She was smart enough and lucky enough to get away, and in doing so, she was able to be free and work on the life that she so deserved. Faye was able to repair her relationship with her mom and go to school and even find an amazing job. This could not have been easy. This is hard work and determination right here. Now she wants to share her story to help educate us, teach us what to look for and how to protect ourselves and our children. And her last statement is one that I wear on my heart every day. She said, just one person helped is all I can hope for. Faye's story is a survivor's story, and all I can pray for is that more stories end like this, because sadly many do not. This story is one of many, but it shows us how fast and easy someone can fall prey. So if you think that you or someone you know may be exploited in this way, please, as soon as you are in a safe place, call 911, or you can use a resource at the Human Trafficking Hotline, and that is 1-888-373-7888. Thank you so much for listening to Invisible Innocence, and be sure to tune in next time. We are just getting started. Stay smart and stay safe.